Hello everyone. In today's video I'm going to show you how to tie this fly. It's a relatively complicated fly, but it incorporates a couple of very nice tricks. One of the tricks is going to be the body over here. It's all done in one run, so it's not like ribbing with something or whatsoever. It's just one run, alternating two colors, imitating large stoneflies. Then egg sac, that one is easy. Double wing, but there is a trick to it because the wing has, I was using this curved hair, and I'm going to show you how to control it a little bit more better. Here there are a couple of hairs sticking out of the line, but yeah, it's fine. And then I'm going to show you this my new tool made by Thick Stream, designed by Luca Baraselli, and I think it's going to be a very good addition to my collection of tools. So guys, stick to it and I hope you will like this fly. So for the threads, I'm going to use two threads in this instance. One is going to be Nano Silk by Semperfli, and the other one is going to be classic wax thread by Semperfli, thinner and thicker. Thicker one for the most of the fly, thinner one for the topping loop. And I'm going to start with thicker one. Another reason why I like the thicker one here is I'm going to use it for the deer hair, and deer hair I don't want to cut with the thin one. I want to start more or less where I want to start my wings, so everything here is going to be thorax legs, that things, and just cover the body with the thread. Spin it from time to time because this one can be flattened, and then when I reach and go into the bend, I like to invert so I can climb closer with my fingers. This way you cannot go close without pinching yourself. This way you come close without pinching yourself with a needle, with a hook point. Now Antron in black is to imitate egg sac. Just twist it around your tying thread, and we need to make relatively large and prominent egg sac to be visible. And one of the reasons I'm using this kind of curved hook, stimulator hook, is because I want this egg sac to go into the water a bit lower, because again I believe that lower laying flies are flies that will catch more fish. So as you can see, I'm making this ball here, and after I finish with this, I can just remove this couple of fibers. They're not essential in any way. So after I do this, I'm going to use my next material, and that's kapok. So kapok, I want to use two colors, yellow and brown, and I want to alternate those. These are short fibers, and I like to pinch them out in kind of same orientation and make rather thick noodle here. Nice, relatively thick noodle. Go in small clumps because you will have more control, even though you will need bigger noodle, a thicker noodle, but still going in smaller clumps will help you achieve that uniformity that will help you later getting desired result. So as you will see, the noodle is rather uniformed, but it's not thick enough, so I'm just gonna add materials as I wish. I also believe that kapok on small dry flies doesn't affect buoyancy at all, because when you use it in small amounts, it's not enough to show its water repellent properties. But if you do it on a larger fly and use it a lot, then there is more kapok that's going to repel water. Now I'm just gonna make this noodle as long and as thick as I want it. Now kapok is like a clay. You can mold it, you can shape it. So use those fibers as such, press them against your thread, and then just spin it one way and that way is, if you watch from the above, it's clockwise. It will help your fly be more durable. Now, the moment of truth here, the moment of truth. The reason why I did this is, as you will see, I want those colors to alternate, and you don't have to be super. You'll see, like, I'm not going rep after rep. I'm making this as thick as I want it, so it's not exact science over here. So I'm just jumping and overlapping reps. Doesn't look very good at the moment, but it also looks good if you ask me. It has those segments a little bit more shown. So let's do it again. Fibers, same orientation, press it against the thread, spin it, you get the noodle. And then you add more and more and more. And yes, those companies that sell K-pop will love me for this, because I'm using it like crazy here. But you can actually use any material that's not soaking water in. Antron comes to my mind, but Antron is not hydrophobic, so it doesn't have the same properties as K-pop does. Now I'm doing brown again. This one is not so. You can see that here it's thicker, and just press on it, make it compact. See, I want to cinch it down here and make it more thick. Now this is too thick, this is perfect, and then you can just make these irregular parts where the brown comes everywhere. There's one more thing you can do. You can make again alternate colors, but thinner noodle, and go back and forth a couple of times until you reach the desired length. Now I'll just add a little bit more K-pop here and create a taper. Now this taper here is going to help me position my wings as I want them. Now do this. Brush it, rub it, brush it, rub it. And then this will make this velvety effect and even up this body. And I really, really like the effect K-pop makes when you brush it out like this. It almost looks alive. Now in water this is going to expand. Now, because my CDC here is not very good one in regards to length and number of barbs, I'm going to use 3 CDC feathers for this. So as you can see, quill ends are not aligned, but tip ends are. So while holding for the quill end, I will stroke those barbs towards the tip. Even make this kind of U shape, because I want all those barbs to be on the top of the hook, well, at least most of them, and then just attach it here. Hold everything in position as you want it, as close to the tying point as you can. Counter spin the bobbin holder. 1, 2 reps. Squeeze everything so it doesn't move, and pull up, pull up, pull up. That's 3 reps. Check your tying of the wings, they look good. And let's go down. These are 1, 2, 3, 4 locking reps. What I want to do now is to cut the excess CDC. Now cut this by an angle, because you don't want to flush cut. Tapering it helps anchor everything better. Now flat thread will tie this down a bit better, and now you can see everything. Everything looks nicely tapered. Now next one is, what I want to use is elk, and this is bull elk with white tips, which I really like. The funny thing with this here is that this hair is rather curved, and look at this difference in length. So all those short hairs, as well as underfur, is something that I don't want. That will make stacking of the hair much more difficult, sometimes even impossible. So I want to remove those underfur and short hairs. hold by the tips, pull again, a couple of more short hairs. Now instead of, those tips can flare sometimes a bit, and it can be challenging to get them into your stacker. You already have those hairs aligned at the bottom end because you cut it there, so just feed the stacker from the bottom end. When you get it aligned, the tips are not aligned. I mean, the length-wise, yes, but the curvature of the hair is not. So press against the edge of the stacker, and yes, it's aligned. Now, a couple of more stacks, the gentle ones, and here it is. Now remove it without any hesitation. And now I know that the tips are somewhere in the middle of my fingers, so I'll just eyeball the length of this hair that I want. And now I want to cut it just in front of my right hand fingers. So let me see. Yeah, slightly shorter or the same length. That's what I'm after. Now, time to spin the bobbin holder counterclockwise while you cut your hair, and cut your hair at a slight angle. Now let's tame those barbs a bit. Now look what happens. I want this here relatively shallow. One wrap. No, not good. One. It's a more. One, two. Pull up. One. And now go towards the front, towards the eye, and catch as many hairs as you can. As you go, the thread will flatten out a little bit more. And here it is. Now, for those who are using some hackle, this trick is amazing because they don't have to bother cutting the buttons and flattening out everything to make those hackle wraps more neat. So this trick is amazing. Check everything, and that's it. At this point, I'm going to change my thread. Waxing the thread may be good, especially on a bare hook shank, or the already waxed thread not so necessary, but yeah, why not? I'm gonna make the loop, one wrap, then two wraps around, and I'm gonna lead the loop towards the tying point here. Now you can see that this flared a bit, not too much of concern over here. I'm also making another knot here, just in case something goes south. Yeah. Dubbing twister, heavy one. You may need one. That's an amazing tool. Keep everything on the top of the hook shank. And now it's time to do this complementary thing. Brahmahan, CDC, and snowshoe rabbit foot. 3 materials together, and all put together by this new tool that I got from a friend. So big thank you to Runar who gave me this tool, and I actually like it very much. So let's see how it works. You can find on the Extreme's website, because it's done by the Extreme and designed by Luca Barosselli, or I think it's Barosselli, something like that. My Italian is a bit bad. So on the website you can find how it works. The inscripted part should go down, so just open it up like so. This is for you to see what you're doing, and all the materials you should lay near this line. So whatever you want to place there, you should place it with something in mind, that you're going to use it like this. You're going to pinch it with this open end, and then when you're finished, you're going to fold this end back and then clamp, use this as a clamp. I mean, I'm using it a little bit different, as you will see, but yeah. So first what I want to do is, I want to do Brahmahan. I'll place Reikis not just over this gap over here, or the I'll just place it a little bit more shallow, like inside of a clamp. And then I will choose a CDC feather. So I'll use CDC feather over here. And in case I think I need more, I may add a little bit more, because these CDC feathers I have are quite bad, to be honest. So we have it here. And this may be enough. So, but I want to add some structure to this. These materials are soft, and that's where the snowshoe rabbit foot comes into play. Now take a clump, and make sure that you remove all the underfur, because you don't need underfur in this mix. And actually you don't need too many of these hairs as well. So use long ones that are most rigid, and you don't have to align them. So if you remember, we're going to fold this end below. So we are going to use this end here. So let me just place those rachises, center them a little bit better, because I want them to be one over the other, so I don't waste too much materials. Okay, so feathers are going to be relatively centered over here, that's fine. And now I want to add some of the nice material here, and that's going to be snowshoe. I'm just gonna hold it like this. Okay. Now, the magic of this tool is this. This holds it loosely. Now you can do whatever you want, basically. By pressing your finger over here, you can control the pressure so this doesn't move. But if you open it slightly, it will still be there, won't run away anywhere, but you can actually manipulate these materials and spread them along the length of this tool. When you're ready to use it, pinch it here so it doesn't run away, and you have this ready. Now what I like to do, because this is in the middle, so if I place this in a loop, the hook will be here, I will have a little bit of spare thread. I like to use the clamp. I just place it out, and here I can cut it out, and here you can see the reason why I place those rachises together, because this way I will waste less material. And now this, if I need to spread a little bit more, I'll spread it in the loop. So I'm gonna, instead of using a Rossetti tool, where, as I showed you before, hairs were positioned in the middle, inserting in them, I will have a lot of waste here. I don't want it. So these two clamps are complementing each other. Obviously you can position everything near the end here, but still it's thick thing. So this is good for larger flies, but with this it's really good combination of two tools working together. Now I'm going to insert this one and pull it up. Yes, and then open up, keep it open, remove it. Spin the twister and tighten everything nicely. Now you can see that those here are, let me show you, kind of tangled, so not too big of a problem. There are two things you can do. You can fold this as you would some hackle, like so, and wrap it around, or you can just keep it as it is. Folding it, it's good if you moisten your hands. Now I want to tame and control this flare over here, and that, after I position everything again, is I'm gonna go back. Now it's very handy that I have heavy dubbing twister, so I'm just not gonna pull on it too tightly, just a little bit, and then first wrap to second wrap, and then after first or two wraps you can just start tightening and cinching like crazy, and then tighten pull those barbs and hairs back. And this combination, CDC, Brahmahan, and Snowshoe Rapid Foot, are just amazing. Brahmahan and CDC will give some color, some movement, and Rapid Foot will give some, let's call it, integrity here, some structure, because it's more firm, so it will add buoyancy. Plus, when the fish are going to slime it down, it's much easier to rinse those snowshoe hairs than anything else. So it's time to color this, make this head black or red or brown, whatever you want. Prepare the wood finish and let's go. Okay, one more time. I need some more marker over here. This time I'm gonna let it a couple of seconds to sit. Because this can happen. Flat thread makes much more neater head. Tighten towards the back of the hook, like so. And here it is. Not necessary to do double whip finish, but when you're doing it with GSP, I like to do it because GSP is slippery. And as you can notice, I don't wax the thread. Now, if I brush it left and right, it's very likely that in water everything will come again together. So what I want to do here is, I'm going to use my sharper scissors, and I'm going to just cut the bottom over here and make everything more visible. I mean, the fly as itself is already low laying, so I'm not making it sit lower because it already is going to sit lower, but I'm exposing the color of the body to the fish and the eggs again to the fish, and that's it. Now, this is the finished fly. For fish, not so visible. For you, pretty visible. Also very buoyant. Here, the hair of the elk and CDC are working well together. You can put some poly yarn as well. For example, something like this, instead of hairs.